Hello everybody, I'm back with the second part of my video about the NKT and how it engages people and what is the process of engaging people, members, new members, how you become entangled about love bombing and what kind of psychological effects it can have on the person, short term and long term. And please check out that video if you are interested and you haven't seen it yet. And in this second video, I would like to talk about the next phase of indoctrination process, which is the isolation phase, and how that takes place in the NKT, in my experience, in my personal experience, and also various other ex-members. So as soon as you arrive in the NKT, as I said before, there is this love bombing phase. You feel very happy, you feel like you belong, you are really wanted, you are seen, because the members are very, very nice to you, very sweet to you. And so it just feels really great to be there. And as soon as you arrive, you start hearing this message that you are extremely fortunate to have found Geshe-la and Geshe-la's Kadampa tradition, and that this is a pure tradition. It's a pure tradition of Buddhism, and sometimes you even feel that it's the only pure tradition. I certainly heard that many times from the people around me. There is nothing else as pure, as pristine pure as this tradition. This was something that I heard a lot. And immediately they start telling you that now you are going to be working for all sentient beings. It's not just that you're working for your own happiness, but also for every single sentient being in the world without exception. So you start feeling very good about yourself. Not only are you in a place where you are loved and accepted, but you are also in this absolutely awesome place that very few people have the very good fortune to belong to. And that you are learning the pure and the only pure Dharma. And so there is absolutely nothing more significant than this, is what you hear all the time. So this is what I call the self-importance and ego-building phase, this period. You hear that nothing is more important and meaningful than dedicating to the NKT. You immediately get into this us and them mentality, people who are Kadampas and people who are not Kadampas, us Kadampas. We have the wisdom, we have the meaningful skills, and everybody else, even other fellow Buddhists, yes, we respect their tradition, but they're not, they don't have that kind of fortune that we do have. So it's inevitable that you're going to start feeling really good about yourself and a little bit superior. I know that this happened to me. You know, I still cringe at some of my posts from this period of my life on Facebook because they are so full of self-assured, cocksure, silliness, really. And I know it better now. I would never post those things anymore. But you really start feeling that you are just better and on some kind of a higher level than other people and even other Buddhists. And the more you go into the NKT, the more this feeling gets reinforced. There is also a sense of urgency there when you're there and you feel that you have to hurry. You don't know how much longer you have in this life. Death can arrive any moment. So you really can't waste time. You really have to go to all of the teachings and the foundation program and the general program, and you have to do all of these events and retreats because life is short and we are so busy. We have this job to build the NKT and save all of the people. This is the kind of savior complex that is very, very common in cults. I am going to do another video about how this savior concept and this job of having to save everybody and spread Kadampa Dharma all over the world, where this idea comes from. I'm going to do a separate video on that. So this is the phase where that praise and support that you originally got for free, that unconditional love that you got, during the love bombing phase of your membership now becomes conditioned. So it's not enough that you just drop in every now and then and smile at everyone. So it's not enough that you drop in every now and then or even regularly and pay your fees and participate in the teachings. It's slowly it dawns on you that they kind of expect you to do more often, to go a bit earlier, to start giving a little bit more time, more of your time, go a bit earlier, fix up the gompa, fix up the room, maybe clean the toilets, or stay longer, do the shopping, grocery shopping for the center, stay a bit longer, and then finally volunteer, give more of your time, and even take an actual role, like an administrative role, or whatever is necessary in the center. So it's a very gradual process, but it gets just there's just more and more demands from the group. So go more often, participate in this or that event, go to this or that festival. If you can't go to the festival, donate money for the resident monk or nuns festival or whatever travel they need to do, or their robes, trips. So there's just never really an end. It just starts it's almost like a snowball effect where you start with this little thing and then it just gets out of control. So the coercive behavior intensifies, and it's very difficult to say no. And if you do say no, you kind of you say no, I'm not going to donate, I'm not going to volunteer, whatever. You just kind of put aside, you can still go to the teachings, whatever, they'll take your money, but you no longer enjoy that wonderful warm sunshine of attention that you used to have. My own personal experience is that so this is what happened to me. For example, I constantly felt pressure to go to this event, to that event, go a bit earlier, fix this, fix that, do this, do that. And there was at some point where the resident monk asked me if I was going to the summer festival, and I said, well, yeah, I wish. Unfortunately, I can't afford to go to the summer festival. I have a family. I want to be with my family, my young child. This is my only holiday, whatever. And I honestly thought that he would just say, oh, okay, yeah, well, whatever. But he didn't. He just started kind of pushing it and saying, well, if you really wanted to, I'm sure you could make it happen for you. This is like karma. This is like good karma for you. And, and it's whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but unfortunately I can't do it. I can't afford it. And I don't want to take the time away from my family. And then he still kept pushing, he kept saying, yeah, but maybe, if you tried, and this would be really, useful, not just for yourself, but also for your family, because, you're accumulating merit for yourself and for your family and for other sentient beings, and there's nothing more meaningful and there's nothing more significant than this. And I was like, okay, but I can't afford it, it's too expensive, and it's 3 weeks of my summer holidays, that's all I have. So it means that this year I can't see my family at all, and then he still insisted, he just would, I just couldn't believe that he would not take no for an answer. He was clearly crossing my boundaries, and I felt very uncomfortable, I really felt uncomfortable, and I also felt guilty that I wasn't going to the summer festival. I didn't understand why this was so important for him. I mean, now I do understand. Obviously, he wanted to produce a lot of people from his center who went to the festival. But for me, it was very strange and very uncomfortable at that time. And that is coerced. That is what is coercive behavior. Now, I can imagine that some people would feel truly bad. I mean, I just forgot about it. You know, I honestly didn't care. I just said, oh my God, okay, it's like, let's just, you know, what an impossible dude, you know, won't take no for an answer. But I can imagine that someone else who's like less self-assured than I am, who has fewer things, like a weaker base, or I don't know, like people who are more vulnerable, they might, like, how do they feel in that situation? You know, this is what I'm thinking. It's constant. This type of little pushing, like for every event. Like, you know, there was another such situation when there was the festival of Dharma or the celebration of Dharma, so Dharma celebration in Rome, and it was a bank holiday, a long weekend. I didn't want to go to the center because I wanted to take a trip with my family, and it's just like so much pushing, you know, push, 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 come to the Dharma celebration. This is really important. We're really got to be there. This is something that we have to do. Just making you feel very uncomfortable, really guilty that you are not there, and maybe even, you know, a bit sorry that you can't participate. You know, you're missing out on some wonderful, absolutely wonderful event. So the thing is this, when they have to push you to do something, to participate, to volunteer, to give, to whatever, and you say, oh, but, you know, my family comes first, I need to be, and they say, well, no, because you're doing this for your family. This is much more significant, much more important than, you know, anything that is outside of this, you know, that there's nothing more significant and meaningful than this, and that the Dharma does not depend, you know, your practice of the Dharma doesn't depend on where you do it, whether you do it on a retreat or whatever. Like, you can practice the Dharma everywhere. In fact, that is the point, is integrating the Dharma into your life and your life into the Dharma. Like, that is exactly the point, you know? And so sometimes it's the more skillful thing to do to actually choose your family and your friends, you know, rather than the next retreat or the next festival or the next puja or whatever it is, you know? So yeah, this is a big thing, and this is where a lot of people sort of fall off the wagon and kind of make a choice, you know, and that's why I hear of so many people who choose the NKT and not their families, because they are not taught that it is not necessary to choose. They are taught exactly the contrary. They're taught that you do have to choose, and you have to choose us. You have to choose the Kadampa tradition, because it's the only meaningful thing. It's more meaningful than your children and spouse and mother and father and everybody else. So there's a lot of rewards that are promised in the NKT. So they do ask you to do this and that, volunteer, but they also promise these rewards. Let's see these rewards. What do they promise? Yeah, most cults work like this. Not all of the cults work like this. They always promise something. Without that promise, there is no cult, because why would anyone join a group and sacrifice their personal lives and money and everything without that promise? Obviously, the ultimate promise in the NKT is enlightenment, and it's a fast path. They say you can get enlightened in 3 years, 3 months, and 3 days. In such a short time, you need to have blessings and merit, blessings and merit, blessings and merit, blessings and merit. And you also need to purify your karma. You purify your karma by blessings and merit. So please notice, they don't say, look, do your meditation practice, sit on that cushion and work on yourself, resolve your issues, work on yourself, meditate, study the teachings, and then, you know, maybe, you know, you're going to accumulate merit and whatever blessings, and maybe you're going to one day be enlightened. No, they don't say that. They say, you need to accumulate merit and blessings. How do you do that? By working for us, by coming to the center, participating in the events, volunteering, working, participating in events, volunteering, working, and so on and so. That's how you accumulate merit, blessings, purify your karma, get enlightened. This is the formula, more or less. And what can I say? It doesn't work. It's not that simple. If that was true, there would be thousands of enlightened people in the NKT already, right? But I don't know anyone in the NKT who is enlightened. Anyone. So in their marketing campaigns, and this is another big issue, they promise a lot, right? They promise to be always happy. They promise help to deal with difficult issues, mental issues such as depression or anxiety or social anxiety, shyness, how to be more self-confident. This is one of their little flyers that I saw recently, how to deal with difficult people. So just like these practical sounding things, but once you go to the teachings, you don't actually get a lot of practical advice about these issues. You get a little bit of brainwashing about Kelsang Gyatso, they call him Geshe-la. And yeah, these are the promises. Will help you be more successful. Will help you to be able to deal with your depression, sleep better, be less anxious, be more self-confident, deal with issues more easily. Get enlightened. Well, will get you enlightened. You'll be always happy, to keep a happy mind all the time, happy all the time. That's the NKT promise. In exchange, they ask you to donate your time, donate your money, participate in events, volunteer, work, attend more events, donate some more, and so on and so forth. This is more or less this is more or less the model that they have, their business model they've created, and it actually works pretty well for them. They seem to be very successful as an organization, as real estate developers. So basically, merit, blessings are the currencies in the NKT that you earn. These are the currency to be earned to purify your karma and to be able to go to a festival, for example. A lot of people in the NKT think that if they can't go to the festival, it's because of their bad karma. And of course, they think that karma is something that they did, something in the past, so they deserve what they get now. So they kind of deserve not to be able to go to the festival. So it's a very warped view of of karma. And they think that going to the festival would help them get enlightened. And they are worried if they can't go to the festival, they can't get enlightened. So there's a lot of fear that if they can't purify their karma, they will end up in the hell realms in their next lives. And so it's just it's a very convoluted web of lies and manipulation and distortion of the original teachings to make the members stick around, stay with the group, not leave, and give as much as possible. Now, if you don't do that, if you don't give, if you don't volunteer like the way I did, I always was on the peripheries of the group because I just wasn't giving enough, I suppose, or whatever. So, but those people who do give, who do start living their lives, who do give up their friends, sometimes family, sometimes even jobs, they are risking a lot. They're risking a lot because you really don't need to do much to be eliminated, to be emarginated, just one bad question, just one thing that you don't agree with, and you can be set aside. So what does all this indoctrination result in? Well, the member might start feeling almost obligated to spend more time with the group and spending less time with friends and family. A lot of members in NKT start feeling, I've seen this happen with my own life. They start feeling alienated from friends and family. They feel they can't express themselves. They are not understood. And they don't like those people anymore either. They seem strange to them because they have no idea about the Dharma. They have no wisdom. They're very egotistical, and so they start leaving these friends. Again, it's a lack of integration of the teachings into your everyday life is what is missing here. And the NKT doesn't teach that integration, and they don't teach that integration for a reason. So another result is that, spending less time with friends and family and feeling pressured to commit. It's actually a commitment that the NKT is looking for, to commit to things before you're even ready, before you want to actually do this. Slowly the member becomes more dependent on the group, overly dependent on the group, both emotionally, spiritually, sometimes financially. Sometimes people move into the center. They actually live in the center. It's their home now. Basically changing your life, giving up your original dreams, what you wanted to do. Unfortunately, I've seen that happen as well. Just not following through with what you originally wanted to do, dropping out of university, college, abandoning careers, abandoning jobs, abandoning family. So these are more or less the effects of this type of indoctrination on many people. I thank you very much for your attention today, and if you have any ideas or would like to share any of your ideas, please leave a comment, put a like on this video if you liked it, share it if you think it's important, subscribe to this channel, and thank you very much again. See you soon.